Okay, lesson 1 of our new topic, metric conversions. Okay, so we're doing geometry, and when we're working with geometry, we need to work with measurement, and we need to look at the lengths of different shapes, different sides on shapes. We need to look at perimeter, so we need to use these units quite often. And sometimes we're going to be asked to convert from one unit to another. So they might say, okay, you've got 1 kilometer. How many meters do you have? You need to change that 1 kilometer to meters. And you might know that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So if you want to change from kilometers to meters, you need to multiply by 1,000 because 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. And you pretty much need to memorize that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, there's 100 centimeters in a meter, and there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. But we're pretty familiar with that already. And then if you want to go backwards, you need to divide. And so it's the same number if you're going forwards or backwards because, there's still 10 millimeters in a centimeter. But if you're going the other way and saying, how many centimeters have I got? Well, that's a larger unit. So if you're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you're going to be able to fit less of this larger unit in your given length or your given space. So you need to divide by 10 because you're going to end up with a smaller number here. And that makes sense. The smaller the unit, the more of that unit that will fit in your length, yes? If you've got a length of 1 meter, that's only 100 centimeters, but it's 1,000 millimeters because you can fit more millimeters in a meter than you can fit centimeters, yes? Because millimeters are smaller, so you're going to be able to fit more of them. So when you're going to a smaller unit, you're multiplying because you're going to be able to fit more of that smaller unit into your length. And if you're going to a larger unit, you're dividing because you're going to get a smaller number. You're going to be able to fit less of that larger unit into your given length. All right, so let's get started. Don't worry if you don't really understand what I'm talking about yet. Okay, how many centimeters are there in 1 meter? Okay, so this is pretty much just memory. We just need to memorize that there's 100 centimeters in a meter. And I think we're all pretty familiar with a meter ruler. We know that there's 100 centimeters in a meter. How many centimeters are there in 2 meters? Okay, well, if there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter, then all we need to do to find how many there are in 2 meters is multiply that 100 by 2, because now we've got 2 meters. So 100 centimeters times 2 is 200 centimeters. Now, how many centimeters are there in 2.5 meters? Well, again, we know there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So if we just multiply 100 by the amount of meters we've got, which is now 2.5, we'll end up with our answer. So 100 times 2.5 is 250 centimeters. Okay, same again. How many centimeters are in 6 meters? Well, the conversion is 100 because there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So 100 times the amount of meters, 100 times 6, 600 centimeters. And that's because we're converting from 6 meters to centimeters. We're converting from a larger unit here, meters, to a smaller unit, centimeters. So we need to multiply because we're going to be able to fit a lot more centimeters than we are meters. Yeah? In 6 meters of space, we can fit 600 little centimeters because centimeters are smaller, but we can only fit 6 meters. So we need a larger number of centimeters. So we need to multiply 6 times 100 will give you your answer. Now, how many meters are there in 1 kilometer? Okay, so again, this is just memory. We need to memorize that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. And if you look at the word kilometer, kilo in Latin means 1,000. And meter, well, that's just a meter. So that means that 1 kilometer is kind of like 1,000 meters. And you can remember it that way as well. So there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. How many meters are there in 2 kilometers? Okay, well, if there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, how many are there going to be in 2 kilometers? We just need to multiply it by 2. So 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. How many meters are there in 2.5 kilometers? So again, 1,000 times 2.5, or 2.5 times 1,000. How many meters are there in 0.5 kilometers? So 0.5 times 1,000. You can do that on your calculator, or you can just say, well, I know 0.5 is a half, so what's half of 1,000? Half of a kilometer is just going to be half of 1,000 meters, so it's just going to be 500 meters. Okay, use the pattern below to help you convert the 3.2 meters into centimeters. Okay, so if you've got 3.2 meters and you want to go from meters here to centimeters, we need to follow this arrow here, which means we need to multiply by 100. So 3.2 times 100 is 320. And now we're in centimeters. Okay, let's do the same, but this time let's convert 6.3 meters into centimeters. So we're in meters still, and this time we've got 6.3 meters, but we're still going to centimeters, so we still need to do the same thing. So we multiply by 100. So 6.3 times 100 is 630. Okay, so this time we've got 15.5 meters. So again, we're in the same spot and we're going to centimeters. So we're doing the same thing again, multiplying by 100. So 15.5 multiplied by 100 is 1,550. Okay, use the pattern below to help you convert. This time we've got 6.44 kilometers into meters. Okay, so we need to go to our kilometers, which is over here, and we're going from kilometers to meters, which is here. So we need to use this conversion, which is multiplying by 1,000 this time. And that's because before we were multiplying by 100 because there's only 100 centimeters in a meter, but there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So we need to multiply by 1,000 to go from kilometers to meters. So 6.44 kilometers times 1,000 gives you 6,440, and now we're in meters. Okay, 12.07 kilometers. So we're at kilometers, and we're going into meters. So kilometers to meters, again, multiplying by 1,000. 12.07 times 1,000 is 12,070 meters. Okay, again, this time we've got centimeters and we're going to meters. We're converting to meters. So we're starting over here at centimeters and we're going over here to meters. So we need to follow the arrow that takes us to meters. So we're not going backwards up this arrow. We're going this way with the blue arrow. Centimeters to meters. And now because we're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we must divide. We're not multiplying anymore, we're dividing. So we've got 6,000 centimeters and we need to divide by 100. So 6,000 divided by 100 is 60. So we're now at meters, so we're 60 meters. 6,000 centimeters is the same as 60 meters. Okay, so there was a problem with question 15, but it's been fixed up now. I think before it was the same as this in the question. It said 6,000 centimeters into meters here as well, but it should have said 6,000 millimeters into meters. So don't worry if you got that one wrong. There was a problem with the question. Now it's fixed, so we'll do it. So 6,000 millimeters, so we're over here in millimeters, and we need to change to meters. So instead of just stopping at one jump, we actually need to do two operations. We need to get all the way over here to meters. So tricky question for the last one, but not too tricky. We've got 6,000. We need to divide by 10 to get to centimeters. So dividing by 10, 6,000 divided by 10 will give us 600 centimeters. But then we want to get to meters. So we need to also divide by 100 again, okay? So we've got 600 centimeters. 600 divided by 100 is 6. Okay, so we needed to do two operations. We needed to divide 6,000 by 10, and then we needed to divide our answer by 100. And we end up with 6 meters. Okay, so that's the end of the quiz.